Yo, 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 yo. Let's get it, man. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We ain't gonna even do too much. You know what I'm saying? For no further ado, let's get it cracking. We ain't got that long. Stay that strong. Let's get it. Yo, 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 yo. Let's get it. How y'all doing today? Can I please get y'all like, comment, subscribe? Get the mics up. Let's get the content. Just woke up, man. Me and my daughter was knocked out, you know what I'm saying? We ate. Fell asleep around like 6 o'clock or so like that. Boy, oh boy, I couldn't get up. Try to make it. Let's get it, baby. Nah. Go ahead, pause it. So, oh, yeah.
Hello. Best concerts are when the artists sound exactly like the record. You know, those are the best shows by far. You know, it's not when they go off into these remixes or these different versions. It's actually sounding exactly.
I think that's what it is. I think that is one of the big three real one. This one.
I was like in the neighborhood looking for anybody that was interested in hip hop. You know, it was a couple of dudes in our neighborhood that DJ'd, and I would find myself just riding my bike past their house, hoping they was in the garage, you know what I mean, getting down. I stopped playing football because I would miss Dre all the time, you know what I mean? I'm at football practice. By the time I got home, his ass was already gone to Compton. I'm like, fuck that. Eazy was tired of the streets. He started to come around and hang out with us. We trying to get out the streets and become artists. We can't afford to be whack. Drake, Eazy, and Ren came and scooped me up. Man, we got the name of the group. It's like, what does N.W.A mean? Trade home, niggas with attitudes. Damn. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers crazy. That shit is dope. You see this shit? Put out a letter. Read the shit, man. Got this fucking letter from that guy. You know, during the show, we see them all lining up.
Yeah, you see that movement, huh?
We see them all lining up, so. It was like, man, this song gonna start some shit. Who would've thunk it, you know what I'm saying? It was the best feeling, you know, just living your dream as a teenager. I think Jerry Heller was the X factor, you know. He's the one who took it over the top and made it where it was a situation where I had to leave. I stepped out on principle. I was still living at my mama's house in that same room. You know, I had platinum records up in my bedroom and shit, and the industry was really starting to hate on the music that was coming out the West Coast. So I was mad as a motherfucker, man. We gotta stand up for ourselves and shit, cause these niggas trying to wipe off our contribution. I said, I'm gonna just start hitting niggas up with the dub, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna just start hitting niggas up with this dub. You're not gonna dismiss our work. Right. Discredit what we've done. We've changed the trajectory of hip hop, you know, in a lot of ways. So anybody that do that gotta get their props, you know?
Yeah, man. Every fucking album, every single, every concert, every movie, every TV show. If we deleted Ice Cube, what would we be robbed of?
Yeah.
Cube.
Yeah.
What's going on? Man, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you know with Ye, do everybody say that to you? Ye?
You know, anybody that's in the hip hop world, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that's in the culture say it.
Because I find myself saying it, right?
Yeah.
But I always feel like, God damn it, why did I say that?
Why?
I don't know. I just feel goofy when I say it sometimes.
Nah, man.
Okay, well, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, first off, welcome to sitting down with us, man. Cube, I've been knowing you, and we've done this many a times. You know what I'm saying? But we've never had a chance to kind of do where we're sitting down off air. You know, we're in the station, we're ringing bells, we having a good time, so on and so forth. But I've always been, even before I got into radio, you know, I'm celebrating 30 years next year. Before I got into radio, I was already a fan first. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed your music, enjoyed you as a writer, even before we had a chance to see what you were going to become with, you know, film work and, you know, Big Three and things that you know, in the last decades have really put together. Did you always know, Cube, that you wanted to be in this genre of hip hop? Was hip hop in your household, or did you grow up like the same way I did? You found hip hop, but your house was full of like, was it Marvin Gaye, or what was the household like for Cube?
You know, I got older brothers and sisters, and so, you know, the music that they was on was the music I was on, and they were, you know, they was in the Commodores and Confunction and Isley Brothers, and so my uncle is a DJ, so he had all kind of records, you know, so I would love to, you know, go to my grandmother's house and shit and go through his records. And he was the first one to introduce me to hip hop. And like, he played Rapper's Delight. I was 10 years old. And then from then on, I would just go seek out the music.
Yeah,
like,
same, bro.
I was like in the neighborhood looking for anybody that was interested in hip hop. And, you know, it was a couple dudes in our neighborhood that DJ'd, and, you know, I would find myself just ride my bike past their house, hoping they was in the garage, you know what I mean, getting down, and I can go watch them mix, or, you know, go watch them do their thing. But it was rare.
Know you were consuming it? Because at one point, we're just consuming hip hop, and it was the same thing with me. 10 years of age, Rapper's Delight, me and my homeboy Trevor, we would literally walk to the boys club rapping Rapper's Delight, because it was like 15 minutes. And the first time I heard it, I fell in love with it. You know,
Me too.
I didn't even know what really, even growing up and having a stereo with the arm and the arm dropping the record down and all that shit, I didn't know what a turntable was. But I'm walking, she heard stories and she heard fables, and I'm vicious on the mic and the turntables. And I was like, oh yeah, we're just walking rhyme.
Yeah.
And not...
How everybody doing today? You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody have a great day. We're gonna listen to history right now, man. It's history.
Knowing that I was being a sponge to what I do today and what I've been doing for the last 30 years, and being a fan of it, not just presenting hip hop as, you know, as a radio, you know, personality, but as many concerts as I went to, you know, DJing myself and grabbing vinyl and, you know, looking at the grooves and reading credits and just everything that I fell in love with. Did you feel as a consumer that you were leading into this, or did you know you just loved hip hop?
Well, I just loved hip hop. I didn't know anybody who did it on a professional level. You know, it was, you know, we was all just amateurs around there. And I didn't really start trying to rap till I was 13. It's 1984. And then...
Do you remember that
1983. So,
Do you remember that rap?
Only the first line. My name is Ice Cube. I want you to know I'm not Run DMC or Curtis Flow.
So at 13, you were already Cube.
Yeah.
At 13, hey man, I remember my first rap was a rap called What's Going On. And it was like my conscious rap, you know, because at that point you're hearing, you know, by that time you starting to hear like, you know, the message, even before the you know, but I was like, oh yeah, what's going on? I'm 13. What the fuck I know about what's going on in the world today?
Yeah.
But I just fell in love with this thing, bro. I fell in love with this new art form, not knowing that we could celebrate 50 years later, or I wasn't in it for that, dude. I was in it for what it made me feel like.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, it was just, I wanted to do something cool nobody else in my neighborhood was doing. You know, everybody was playing sports. You know, it was like my neighborhood was full of boys. So it was always something to do. It was like, you know, we was basketball, football, you know, skateboards, you know, bikes, go-karts, motorcycles, mini bikes, you know, it's everything going on my block.
And people say we outside now.
No,
like we were
was
outside.
Yeah,
you know, there was
grass in our head. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Drinking from a water hole. There was no 300
doubt.
channels and no streaming and no
we didn't
phones.
Want to go
like,
inside. You know what I mean?
Bro.
It wasn't. So it was a lot of activity, but nobody was really doing hip hop. You know, nobody but Sir Jinx that lived down the street.
Yeah, man.
And
so how old are you and Jinx around that time?
You know, he's
a guesstimate.
You know, he's like, I'm 13, he 12. You know what I mean? He 12, he you know, he the nigga that got the cardboard. He coming down and like asking my daddy, do you got any cardboard so he can break dance on the shit, you know what I mean? And graffiti, you know, he moved on our block later. You know, he was like, the block was established when they moved into the neighborhood, so nobody really fuck with Jinx. You know what I'm saying? That. It was like, yo, you know, just it's new youngster, and like nobody, you know, everybody was on his sister. You know what I'm saying? Want to talk to his sister, and so, you know, I would start fucking with him. You know, just was like tripping on him and shit on what he was doing, like spinning on his head, spinning on his back. You know, he had all the underground hip hop. And so he had, you know, when I started going in his room, I saw he had 2 turntables set up, you know, with a mixer in the middle and shit. Like he was actually, you know, practicing being a DJ. So, you know, it was more intriguing than just sports and, you know, gang banging, chasing girls and shit. Like, I was full of that. So this was something new that was starting to catch my attention.
Were you there with Jinx, like, as much as you could, just soaking up music? And I'm pretty sure it's not like he teaching you, but you guys are learning something new at the same time, man. And there's no feeling of what that felt like. Like, you know what it feel like. I know what you're talking about, and I feel what you're saying because I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt how intrigued I was by it, bro, and how new it was. And this journey of discovery that I just kept finding something new every day, bro.
Niggas would clown me for hanging out with Jinx and shit. It was like, man, what's Run DMC? Are you the Fat Boys? Which one? What are you? Who are you? You know,
were you
trying
writing
to be?
then?
He just says, bro said, this guy here is why I start spitting bars. That's a good thing. Neighbor, what's up, my nigga? You got a hood boy in the building. Shout out baby hood boy. Shout out grandson. You know what I'm saying? George, good looking, George. Donald, appreciate it. Appreciate the love, both y'all. Shout out to all people in the boom, man, y'all. I'm up, and I'm stuck. Ice Cube is to me, he the head honcho. He told us how to be a unit, and if niggas start tripping, bust they fucking head open. Boom, to the white meat showing. No Vaseline. Straight up.
Yeah, you know, writing, rhyming.
Niggas start tripping, boom.
You know, he helped me
no
rock the
Vaseline.
beat, you know what I'm saying? Because he the only one that had instrumentals. So you can actually practice at his house because he got the instrumentals and you got the rhymes. So
appreciate it, but it's our own brand.
Rapping the air.
My own.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, somebody trying to do a book.
My own brand trees, my own, you know, Mommy Dust, you know what I'm saying? Mommy Dust.
Bullshit beatbox, you know, he got records. So, you know, I'm down there. We doing hip hop. That's how we felt.
And at that time, Cube, like now you'll see people and, you know, there's 30-year-old gangsters and 35-year-old gangsters or whatever, people just coming in. When we were growing up, that's when people started to get active. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like 12, 13, 10, 12, but you were active by the time you got to the 7th grade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel like,
American killer.
and it's such a cliche when you say, oh, it saved my life, but do you feel like it kept you on a path where you spent so many hours in the house with Jinx that you could have spent and that you didn't spend on the streets?
Right.
In some ways, you know what I mean? And especially in them years where we 13, 14, 15, instead of hanging out, we were Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, helping them with Cerwin Vegas, and we carrying crates of records, and we, you know, in the DJ booth when he rocking the party, and we are you know, seeing a pro. You know, he had done records by then, so we watching the pros in action and seeing them trying to blow up in the game. You know, they were doing records, but they wasn't where they wanted to be as the world-class record crew. They were still fighting to get shit played. They were starting to do concerts, you know. They were starting to do big concerts but they would do concerts with, you know, Mary Jane girls. And, you know, shit like that. They was doing like, because they had big slow songs like Turn Off the Lights and
then
Turn
it
Off
was
the Lights.
also like people look back and say, oh, well, Dre wore
London,
this.
shout London, bro, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shout out London.
Yelling it. But it was also, you know, that's when everything was like a costume and everybody had something that was with it.
You wasn't a professional singer if you coming out here rocking jeans and shit. You know what I'm saying? You just seemed like you wasn't trying to do it on a high level. And when you're trying to come up, you're trying to do everything and anything to be, you know, seen or remembered, or, you know, they opening up for these major groups. So they gotta be rememberable, you know what I mean?
And
so,
you gotta be just like kind of, you know, I mean, you wanna
you
still
up
a
there
show.
with the Barcades, and they in costumes and shit, and you gotta, you know, keep up.
Yeah, man.
If you wanna, you know.
Everybody had jumpsuits. They say back then, you all gotta have a jumpsuit. Once y'all start everybody matching jumpsuits, y'all was on. My mama said that earlier today. She said, nigga, you ain't know. They had to match the jumpsuits. It's like every good group had a matching jumpsuit.
Back then, rap was still.
Say Lark.
You know, trying to kind of get his foot. Especially on the West Coast. You know, we was.
UK.
You know,
identity
really
wasn't there.
trying to figure out what we needed to do to break through.
You met Dre, like even just talking with you right now, I didn't know that you and Dre had that much history.
Yeah,
from when
Dre
you were
when I was 13, 14 years old.
How does that happen?
He's Jinx's cousin.
Yeah.
You know, Jinx started showing me the records that they was doing, and I was like, this your cousin? He's like, yeah, this my cousin.
And you knew, of course we knew, but you knew Dr. Dre.
Yeah, we knew Dr. Dre from mixing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he was, you know, one of the top DJs in the city, you know, with Joe Cooley and shit, man. And Egyptian Lover and Bobcat and all these dudes, you know, was the biggest names.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but the person that's doing the interview, that's Big Boy. Big Boy been around for a long time. I since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling everybody. I know everybody probably don't know, but some people probably know. But that's nigga Power 106, Big Boy in the morning, man. I told you, I used to listen to this man every morning, going to school. Mom's taking us to school. Man, and what's his name? Luther Lufe. After Lufe, nigga, our phone taps in the morning. Got you on tap. What you gonna do? Got you on tap. Ha! Oh, you know, say the right word too. You want to make it stick like goo? I got you.
In the DJ space, you know what I'm saying, in LA. So, but I didn't know it was this nigga's cousin.
Right.
And it just, you know, it was like one day he called me It's like, yo, we doing a barbecue and shit. Dre here. So, I'm grabbing notebooks, pads and shit, and I'm rushing down there, and he...
And y'all stayed around each other? You and Jinx at that time? It was at
he was
Jinx'
right
house?
down the street.
Gotcha.
It was like 3 houses down and shit. So, go to...
They was living in the 111s too. You know what I'm saying? They living in the 111s too at the time. I grew up in the NHC, but that's not what I turned out to be.
Down there, Dre, last thing he wanted to do was hear us rap. He did it for barbecue and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we like, yo, when you finish, come in the garage and check us out. We in the garage. That's when he took his shit out. His moms couldn't take the noise no more and shit. It was like, put that shit in the garage. Yeah, so we in the garage with the shit set up and waiting for this nigga to come out. And it's like, Jinx is going back and forth in the house saying, yeah, you gonna come out? You gonna come out? So, he finally came out and I had a chance to butt.
No, 111s is Nate Buds. 111 Nate Bud Crip. 111 5, they Nate Buds. Nate Buds.
And he was impressed. And then, we started trying to hang out every chance we could. And then something happened where Dre had to move in with Jinx and his family for a period of time. So, then I had access to the nigga right down the street. You know what I'm saying? So
it's crazy how it's written though.
Yep. I stopped going to football practice and shit just to hang out with Dre. I'm like, fuck this football shit.
So you were playing football too?
Yeah, I was playing football.
Right. So you were throwing life things up against the wall. And what stick is like.
I was having fun. I wasn't thinking about like I'm gonna go to the pros and shit.
Right.
It was just about I like playing football, so I'm gonna go play. And I was playing for my high school, and I played 1 year, it was cool. And then for my second year, I'm like, all this fucking hitting and this bullshit and dealing with these crazy ass coaches who, if you don't win, they think they're gonna get fired.
Right.
So I'm like, this shit ain't even fun. So I stopped playing football so I can, because I would miss Dre all the time, you know what I mean? I'm at football practice. By the time I got home, his ass was already gone to Compton. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't keep up. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna make sure I'm there when this nigga get ready to leave. He
at the curtain.
He partied all night, so he wasn't leaving till like, 3, 4, maybe 4 o'clock. So I hit the corner, I see that, he had an RX-7. He had a burgundy RX-7. I hit the corner, I see that RX-7 still there. I'm like, I got action. And go throw my shit down, go back down. Dre, what you about to do? He's like, man, I'm about to go over to Compton and shit. Lonzo at the studio. You coming? I'm like, yep.
And what's crazy about that too, Cube, if somebody look at Dre now, this isn't chronic Dre.
No.
You know what I'm saying? This is like our Dre still.
Yeah.
But not knowing, like it wasn't that, the formula wasn't there yet. The Dre sound wasn't there yet. But
Dre.
But that's Dre.
Dre can make a party sound better than anybody. So
I paid to see him.
His ears were always on point. He was the one who would move the speakers and then he would make, and nobody can make.
That's that mad scientist
Nobody can
shit.
make the shit bang like he can. And nobody was smooth as he was on the motherfucking turntables either. Some dudes were more dynamic, but nobody was more smooth. Nobody could blend better. You know what I mean? Nobody could, he was just like polished. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't have his shot yet, you know what I mean? But he was always...
like the best of the best at that time too.
Yeah, even though he was just coming up, you could see that, this is a master at work.
What do you think you added to it early on? Or were you just more like soaking it in?
Shit rhymes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So would you rhyme at the parties too? Or get on the mic with Dre?
Yeah, sometimes. He wanted to throw us in the fire. So he was like,
what's good, chat? What's the deal? First class citizen. Appreciate it.
Like, y'all group, y'all want to be the shit. No, we had joined a contest that K-Day had called Best Rappers of the West contest. And we joined it And we was the shit. You know, we killed it out here at Skateland out in the valley. You know what I'm saying? We killed it at World on Wheels.
Oh, the tour.
You know, they you know,
yeah.
it was different. It was different. It was different levels. You know, the first round, and we made it to the second round. So we made it all the way to the Olympic Auditorium. You know, it was the final round and shit. So we had the shit a shoe in.
And what's the group name at that time?
The name of the group at the time is Stereo Crew.
Okay, gotcha.
Stereo Crew is me, Jinx, and KD. So we all, you know, we got this shit on lock. You know, ain't nobody about to beat us. But back then, our music was on cassette tape. So when the motherfucker hit the tape, it was like 2 minutes down the song. And so, yeah, you know, they did that to us. So they had to rewind it. So it fucked up the momentum. So we came in second. You know, we was mad. You know, we was like, we got robbed, blah, 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 that. And so Dre was like, you know, y'all.
Do you remember who won?
I think it was some niggas named Shampoo, Press, and Curl. No. Shit like that.
Dude, I remember Shampoo, Press, and Curl. That's how we rewriting history. That. Yeah.
I think they won it, but
gotcha.
You know, man, it might have been somebody else, but I think that was them that won it. And we knew.
Them niggas called Shampoo, Press, and Curl, cuz. Them niggas called Shampoo, Press, and Curl. They give you the whole process. They give you the whole process, bro, on the game. Shampoo, press, and curl, the whole thing. Shampoo. And he first, get the press on, then I curl you.
Who was better than them niggas, you know? Right. But them niggas, they had silk shirts and shit and perms and shit.
They really shampoo, press, and curl.
They got the girls and shit screaming. So, so Dre was like, y'all niggas think y'all good, you know what I mean? Y'all ain't good till y'all rock doodles. So you come to Compton, you know what I'm saying? It's right there. You know, we like doodles, you know, that's where they, you know, did their parties, you know, right there on Central, like 2 blocks from Pyro Street, damn near. So, you know, we walked in that bitch, man. We was like, you know.
Nigga, 2 blocks from Pyro Street is crazy.
Oh, don't let nobody know where we from, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Just go in here and rock this mic. And, you know what Dre told us, he said, man, y'all, you know, y'all win the crowd over if y'all funny or y'all, you know, got a little bit of, you know what I mean, like a little cussing in the routine and shit, you'll win them over. So we was thinking like, okay, we're gonna do original songs, but we also gonna flip this big ass hit. You know, Roxanne was the biggest hit in LA at the time. It was like
Roxanne.
So we gonna flip that bitch. And we did a song called Diane. We made all the verses nasty and shit, you know. And they went crazy up in there, man. You know, they went crazy. And Lonzo flipped out because he didn't know we were supposed to go on stage.
Like flipped out how? Flipped out
what
good?
The fuck you putting these little kids on here with this bullshit? You know what I mean? It's like, man, they in there cussing, doing all this crazy shit. So I was like, man, crowd love that shit. Crowd loved it.
How did y'all come out that night? Because like even with Wrecking Crew with Lonzo was more strategic, and you know, you had Dr. Dre, you had, you know, everybody was dressed. Yeah. How did you come out that night to rock that night? Was it just like whatever you wore that day?
Oh man, shit, we had starter jackets on.
Yeah. Yes, that's probably what Lonzo was mad at too. Like, man, these dudes ain't even got no costumes on, man.
You know, Lonzo was just, you know, his vision. He was trying to keep up with Prince. Yeah, Ready for the World.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? He was trying to keep up with groups that
the shit we were seeing and hearing too, though.
You know, it's 80, you know, 5 or some shit. You know, he's trying to keep up with the
80 motherfucking 5, cuz. 80 motherfucking 5. I wasn't even born yet. My dad and my mom probably just met. No, 84 they met. But damn, they was meeting, and he was on my mama still. My daddy was trying to get the cakes right now, 85. Hey, baby, let me get up in there, baby. Let me get up in there.
Biggest groups of the day, you know, and you know, he wasn't trying to keep up with niggas that was KRS-One and
Yeah,
shit.
and
You know
plus
what
he
I'm
had
saying?
an investment into the night and what he was doing. And you do think like, man, what the fuck? We building something here.
Yeah, well, it took him a minute to even, start rocking hip hop.
The whole time trying to get up here.
It was like,
hey, Pop said my mom's using my big brother dad at the time. He said I just kept seeing her, man. She just, you know what I'm saying? Then one day she beat this woman, boom, 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 beat her up. He said I was on her the whole time. And my mom had my big brother on the set. She said when my big brother dad fell out, she said I came through. Whoa! Had to snatch the little bro up, and then here you come. I said, "Oh, kid, a king was born, nigga. A king was born."
Like, I think he had Eve After Dark first, and Eve After Dark was hard shoes, slacks, ladies coming in, ladies night, all that. It was cool, and he wasn't gonna let Dre in. I think Dre was at the back door one day.
I was fine.
With tennis shoes on. He was like, man, you can't come in.
I see you.
Dre had to go get some hard shoes and come in and then show. He was like, yo, if you could beat Yo on turn,
King was born.
You could get the job and shit.
So, and that's his audition process.
Yeah, Lonzo said he gave him the job when he heard Dre blend Planet Rock with Wait a Minute, Mr. Postman. And when he saw that this nigga could blend that old shit with that new shit, it was a wrap. So Dre was always trying to push the envelope for more and more hip hop, more and more hip hop, more and more hip hop as hip hop was growing.
Right.
So this is just, in a way of changing of the guard. You know what I mean?
When does CIA come into
December?
When we put out the Stereo Crew record and it didn't work, we was on Epic.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
It was man. God name. I just saw his name the other day. But anyway, he was running Epic at the time. And Lonzo knew him. So they gave us a single deal. And so,
did you think it was on? Like, oh my God!
I thought it was on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
man.
like man, we made it.
Yeah, and we signed with the same label as Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so
label mates.
So that Tears for Fears record was out. Tears, dum 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 dum. Right. So Dre's in love with this record. So he redo the beat. And then we do a song over it called She's a Skag. And it just didn't, what it is, that record was, a single trying to do its thing, but I guess they didn't like the sales of that last Record Crew record because they was on Epic too, so they dropped us. So we back on Crew Cut. And it's like, man, we had a whack record, man. It's like, we fucked up the name, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We fucked up Stereo Crew, so we're gonna be Criminals in Action, CIA. And then Alonzo was like, y'all ain't about to be no fuck Criminals in Action. Y'all could be Crew in Action. And so it ended up being Crew in Action. We didn't
so
like
you
the name.
already had the wherewithal to say, because when we think about N.W.A. and all that, that sounds genius, but you was already thinking Criminals in Action.
Yeah, man, we had songs, we had a song on that shit. We had My Posse, we had a song called Illegal.
You know what's crazy
did a song
about that
called
shit?
Gangs before that never.
Cubans, what's crazy about that? I remember having CIA but y'all were, I used to just get 12-inch singles. I used to just buy by the name, buy by the whatever. But it wasn't a picture on there.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? But you went and you just got things because, for one, rap categories anyway was only a bin or something. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was overflowing in the store and you had walls of shit, that
all you had
came
to do
later.
was come up with a dope cover and somebody would buy it.
Yeah, man.
People was buying records just off the cover.
And the way it looked like.
Yeah. So
with CIA, how do you get from CIA to N.W.A?
Well, with CIA, the problem was Dre had us rapping like the Beastie Boys. He liked that License to Ill record, so he had us rapping like that. It was like, man, this shit is, We ain't feeling that. And then doing those performances at Dudos, and then we had another one at Skateland where we flipped Paul Revere. Made a dirty rap off Paul Revere.
Pitbull, what's on it? Pitbull puppy.
The reaction was like, man, we should just start doing shit that we feel. And then then Eazy was coming around. Eazy was like,
for sure.
This the shit.
There you go.
This the shit, y'all.
There you go, Eric.
At once class citizen C1B, $20 super chat. Keep doing your thing, champ. Trophy emoji. Here's a Shy Town. Saluting face emoji. For me.
Nigga, shout out to Shy Rack in the building. You already know we fuck with Chicago right here, you know what I'm saying? All that, all love, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate the love.
Should be doing what y'all doing on those mixtapes, because me and Dre would do these mixtapes for the Rhodium Swap Meet.
Yeah, man.
For Steve Yano.
Yes, sir.
And then on the mixtapes, you could talk about the hood, you can cuss. Dre didn't care what you talked about. So I'm like, we're gonna talk about what's going on around here. So Eazy got a hold of them tapes and we was like, this the shit we should be doing. Not trying to, do fucking slow records.
How did you meet Eazy-E?
Met him through coming around the Wrecking Crew. You know what I'm saying? Just starting to pop up. We was in Compton. He from Compton. Easy, so him and Dre DJ'd together in high school.
Damn.
They would throw parties and shit like up at Compton High and shit. And so they have lost contact because Eazy got in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So when Eazy was tired of the streets, he started to come around more and just hang out with us because his cousin got killed. So he was done with it.
I did wrote him last week.
Started hanging with us, just kind of peeping, just
dude,
we got a show here, right. He pop up,
But he
little nigga with money who gonna tell him,
with money, but like he wasn't an artist. He wasn't.
LAM, ODM, you already know, Gangland.
I'm thinking about that.
No, he was like, yo, I want to stop this, bullshit I'm doing in the street, but I want to, maybe I want to figure out how to get into this music shit, because, Lonzo was doing it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Making money. And, Dre was doing records, all kind of records for Bobby Jimmy and the Critters.
Yeah,
and,
man.
He had, he had a few people he was doing records for. So he was like, King T was doing records and shit. And it was like, yo, we could do this shit too. I could put some money in. I'll start my own record label and be a manager. So
could you see
nobody's paying attention to him like, nigga, what, huh? This motherfucker came one time with a drawing and was like, this is what Ruthless Records gonna look like. This the drawing. I'm like, yeah, you about to start a record label? You ain't got no artists. I'm about to start signing artists. So he just started signing artists and shit to Ruthless. And he signed JJ Fad and these dudes called Homeboys Only, HBO.
Mm-hmm.
They all look like LL Cool J and shit. They was from Queens.
Oh my God.
And Eazy thought he had something. He's like, these niggas from New York. Nigga, they better than y'all. It's like, okay.
Now HBO is Boys in the Hood, right?
That's the song that I wrote for him.
When you wrote Boys in the Hood, did you know you was writing it for them?
Yeah.
So the Boys in the Hood that we hear today and that we've heard for decades.
Boys in the Hood was always hard.
Is the same Boys in the Hood pretty much that you wrote for another group.
Pull the card.
I wrote it for them because
don't pull me, boy, because I said shit.
Eazy commissioned me to write the song because I had just helped the Wrecking Crew with a hit record. You know
Which
what I mean?
one?
The Cabbage Patch.
Oh yeah. Went to a party in West LA.
Yeah,
Wanna learn to do dance. That's what you say.
So Eazy was like, man, and he used to like my raps, all the raps I had in my notebook and shit, and all the raps that we did on the mixtapes for the swap meet and shit. So he was like, man, Kid, I want you to write for my group, write him a song and shit. He said, I'm writing some hard shit. I don't want, you know what I mean? Don't write no Cabbage Patch.
Right.
Shit. So I was like, I'm like, okay. So I wrote Boys in the Hood, you know what I mean? And brought it to him and rapped it and shit. And it was like, what are you talking about?
They
What
couldn't
the fuck
understand cruising
what's
down the street in my 6'4". None of that.
What's ganking?
Yeah.
It's like, man, we
my
can't.
6'4".
It's like, can't say these dumbass California words and shit. We can't, from New York, we can't be talking like this. And then Trey was like, well, okay, well, what raps y'all got? And then
they can't. Did they do something?
And that shit wasn't, it wasn't on point.
Right.
It was ass.
Yeah.
No doubt. And
when they told you we can't do this, did you take that?
They had a look, but they didn't have the talent.
Did you take that as a writer? Did you take it offensively, or you knew that?
I took it offensively because they start talking about, California, this shit sound like some whack ass California shit. So, it actually got a little heated up in there. It was like, man, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, y'all look like LL Cool J. How far you gonna go with that shit? LL look like LL.
Right.
I mean, you're not gonna out LL.
LL Cool J R Jr.
Yeah, so, you niggas look like clones, man. And y'all ain't got no talent, you know what I mean? So they kind of walked out. Like, fuck y'all.
Man, and so
he's just like, man, fuck y'all then. We were sitting there like looking like, well, wasted a bunch of studio time and shit. Boom, boom, boom. And Trey was like, E, won't you do the shit? You got that crazy ass voice. He was like, man, what you talking about?
QD,
So then
and it's obvious you're saying it, but do you remember, are you vividly seeing that night?
Yeah, I remember. And they argue about everything. Dre and Eazy would always, they would always be trying to top each other. You know what I'm saying? Dre bought $30,000 vet. Eazy wanted to buy the $45,000 vet. You know what I mean? So they was going at it like that all the time. So it's like, I scared. What you scared to run a microphone? What the fuck it's gonna do to you? Do it. It's shit whack. Nobody hear it. Blah, blah, blah. So he kept, ain't no fucking rapper. No rapper. No fucking artist. Man, so he went and then finally got him in the booth. And he wanted all the lights out and shit. And it's like, man, we can't even see that nigga in there. And he started. Dre did the beat kind of right there. So after he finished the beat, it was like, oh, this motherfucker bang banging. You know what I mean? The 808 on that is like crazy. So this nigga started rapping and it just was terrible. So we started laughing and shit and clowning. Clowning him and Dre. So they kicked us out. Kick us out the studio, make us leave and shit. And so I'm fucking come back up here come back here tomorrow.
At no point did you say, Dre, I'll do it.
No. I was in a group. This was a solo song.
Damn.
I felt like, I'm in my group. Why would I do a solo record? So, and I didn't have the money to do my own record. Shit, Eazy was putting up the money for his fucking group, and I wasn't on his label.
And you said Eazy commissioned you to write that.
I was already signed the crew cut with, with that CIA. So, yeah, and I came.
I would say, crew. What's up, guy? I would say CIA. I would say, oh, these niggas told CIA, nigga like the police.
Back the next day, and they had like half a verse laid.
Overnight.
Yeah, and I'm like, I said, man, call me, beat me when this motherfucker's ready to be listened to. And it was like 2 or 3 days later, I got a beat. called it. Dre was like, come listen to this motherfucker now. So I drove down. There was a studio right there in Torrance called Audio Achievements. Drove down there and shit, hit that we all know.
So when you finally hear cruising down the streets in my 6'4",
Yeah.
what was your first initial, aside from the clown in the half a song, when you heard it in its entirety?
I just looked at the nigga Eazy. You know what I'm saying? Just looked at that nigga. He was just sitting there saying, I don't know. It sound right? I'm like, nigga, that shit is banging.
But
What
you
the
could
fuck?
hear some of it too when he say shot the girl but didn't hurt her. Both of us. You could hear that like Eazy later on probably would have did the vocals a little different.
Yeah. Eazy actually became a dope ass rapper.
Yeah, man.
And writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His delivery, you know, from when the time he started in 86 to the time I left the group in 89, you know, he was vocally just as good as anybody in there. You know what I mean? He could deliver the flow.
And when Dre tells the story too, he was just saying how they had to go line for line. I think they put it in Straight Outta Compton as well. But that whole cruising down the street and my six, okay, we got it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Cruising down the street.
Yeah.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
And you got to think, man, now it's like,
I mean, look how Dre worked. He don't care how good you are anyway. He have you doing that shit over and over.
I know,
so,
man.
Could you imagine him with somebody who don't even rap?
Yeah.
That's why that shit was 3 or 4 days later.
When you see the takeoff of Boys in the Hood,
yeah,
what do you feel with your group? You know what I'm saying? Because it's there, but it's not quite what we're hearing on the original 1580K Day. It's, you know what I'm saying? You're a part of something, right? But you're not in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, we got to make better records.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all I felt like. We gotta make better records. And at the same time, Eazy, you know, Dre is having issues with Lonzo and the Wrecking Crew. And Eazy is like, we need to do an all-star group. We need an all-star group where we take the best of all these groups we got and put a record together, a single. So I was like, you gonna pay for that, nigga? You gonna pay for the studio time? No problem. I'll write a record. I was like, yeah, we all need to just think about taking the best out of every group and making one all-star group. And so I ran with that and shit, and I wrote Dope Man.
Dope Man.
Jesus Christ.
I wrote Dope Man, and I'm like, this is my record.
Hey, man. Dude, I just got chills right now. That's crazy. I remember Dope Man.
That nigga sat around with that cut and wrote Dope Man, cuz. Nigga, that's a motherfucking classic, nigga.
And brand new. You know what I'm saying? And that was cute. That's when all of us was like trying to get a little hustle on. Then you heard something.
I wrote Dope
and it
Man.
was like you tried to get a little more on. And then also, bro,
everybody verse.
There were things that was in LA and surrounding areas, but there was also words that didn't quite hit us yet, where it sound like y'all made up words that became just like our regular language.
Yeah.
But when you with Dope Man, bro, that was one of those where every time that shit, and that sounds so fucking polished.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, when you were writing Dope Man, did you know you was writing something that was gonna fuck up? And I don't mean fuck up like tear us up, but like, man, this is gonna fuck them up when they hear this.
Yeah.
That was going. That was sad.
Yeah, because now you got to know we around Eazy. He don't go cold turkey with you know, with his business and shit.
Right.
He still gotta pay for the studio time. So
this and that.
Yeah, you know, so I'm watching him do this and that. You know what I'm saying? And peeping out his lifestyle and connecting it with what's going on in my neighborhood, and you know, got the whole movie. And you know, I knew people were speaking on it and shit, but they wasn't talking about it, you know, like this. So I'm like, you know, this is, you know, with Boys in the Hood, I said, oh, this is, you know, this is just me talking about shit I talk about on the mixtape. So I'm talking about some more shit that's going on around here. So
those lines are impactful too, though, Q, because with cruising down the street in my 6'4", just that already iconic. And that's coming from boom, that's coming from your pen, you know. And
the first line is one of the most important lines of a song.
Bro, and the first line from Dope Man is,
it was once said by a man who couldn't quit.
And you know that, Dope Man, please can I have another hit? And from that on,
that's the part of the song.
It was over, bro.
Yeah.
What did that feel like when you heard that, not just coming out of radio on a clean version, but when you heard Nissan trucks, either Suzuki Samurais, Lolos, Caddies, like when you heard it coming out of people's shit in the streets?
Man, it felt as good as you can feel, you know. You know, I've played sports and we've won the game,
right?
Had good games, you know. And I've done cool stuff, but this was a different feeling because you know when a hit is going through the city. Because before Dope Man, we done seen songs like The Show, Computer Love.
Yeah.
You know, when a song just take the city. Like I said, Roxanne was a song that just took the city. And here we had one with Boys in the Hood, but here we go, like, with a whole nother entity with N.W.A. And, you know, the B-side to them records, you know, you got, you know, 8 Ball rolling and all that shit. So it was like, yo, we found our niche. We know what we're supposed to be doing.
Man, literally, we were on a hunt for N.W.A. shit.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was at the swap meet. I was at Rhodium. And we knew the name. People were like, oh, N.W.A., N.W.A., N.W.A. And I remember the first time I heard what N.W.A. stood for.
Yeah.
You know who I heard it from?
Who?
Steve.
Is it Steve Yano?
Steve Yano at Rhodium. I was like, man, what does N.W.A. stand for? I should have known when he did this.
When he looked around. Yeah.
And then my man leaned in and he was like, niggas with attitudes. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like,
they told me that name, you know, like they had that name when they came and picked me up one day.
Who made up N.W.A., the name Niggas with Attitudes? Do you know?
I don't know who exactly came up with it. You know, you probably got to ask Dre, because I just remember him and Eazy and Ren came and scooped me up, and they were like, man, we got the name of the group. I was like, you know, I was like thinking it was gonna be a name.
Right.
You know, like
that one
Public
word.
Enemy.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it was like N.W.A.
They say N.W.A. first.
They say N.W.A. And I'm like, initials.
Right.
Like, I'm thinking DMC, like Run DMC. You know, I'm like, man, these caught on the initials and shit. Now we gotta tell people what the fuck this. I was like, what does N.W.A. mean? And he was like, niggas with attitude. Trey told me, niggas with attitudes. And I was like,
you felt it?
Damn. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers crazy. That shit is dope.
Look at these niggas with
When did you
attitude.
know
Thought
that
this
it
gangsta
was
shit.
so-called no hands
Damn, cuz
like
that
we gonna
shit
do
hard.
something that they never heard before.
Hey, it's like, you gotta imagine he going through this though. This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Niggas pull up on me, nigga like, what? Niggas, we know that the aftermath with the fuck the police and all that. So we understand the aftermath, but nigga, why they just pull up? Nigga, we N.W.A, nigga. Nigga like, what? Niggas without, what? Nigga, what? It's the 80s, cuz. Niggas like, nigga, we dying.
Something because
Easy little bitty ass
is the way that we talked. But you didn't turn on KJLH and K-Ace and even 1580 K-Day for that matter. And here, you know, we started coming around to it. But you never heard somebody like, man, we get pulled over. The first thing we do when we get pulled over, and if we get a chance to roll off, what do we say? Fuck the police.
Yeah.
They roll by you now.
Dublin.
Man, fuck the police.
Dublin.
So we getting our language on wax, on cassette, and we've never heard it. You know, for me, King T was one of the first that I heard, like, oh shit, this dude going, you know, or the blue rag, you know, and I'm like, what?
Him, T Mix Master Spade.
Yeah, so we getting this. And then from Boys in the Hood to Dope Man, that's such the great follow-up for what is about to happen. And Dope Man could have not been what Boys in the Hood was. It killed that momentum the same way we saw with, what was the first group?
Oh, Stereo Crew.
Stereo Crew.
Yeah.
So those things kind of could demolish and erase something.
Straight up.
So already N.W.A. had something that they had to live up to. And
hey, Agent Booty Scratcher, shut the fuck up. Tell me what the fuck they're doing here. Get your bitch ass out and go find it, whore. You whore.
Started making anthems.
What?
Then there's a look to N.W.A. And I remember an early N.W.A. cover. I'm looking, I see you, Cube, of course. I see Dre, Eazy-E, the Suzuki, Arabian Prince, Candyman, everybody on this motherfucker. You know, and I'm looking at this album, bro, this single, and I'm like, this N.W.A. shit is about to be something.
Yeah.
You know, y'all weren't wearing, no disrespect, but y'all weren't wearing spikes and chains. It almost looked like we got to shoot at 2:30, it was 2:25, and you just came.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what I'm
pretty much how
saying?
it was. We was just like, come up here, we're about to shoot an album cover, nigga. Come on.
And that was purpose.
Yeah, we wanted it to look, you know, rowdy. You know what I'm saying? Like when you walk by, you had to pick it up and say, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? So we definitely wanted that. The look came from one of our first big shows that we did out here in LA. We had jumped on Salt and Pepper, UTFO, Heavy Detour. We was opening up. But before us was Too Short and the Hammer. We had never heard of them.
Right.
I'm just counting. I'm just counting. I'm counting. I'm just a shit talker. I'm a shit talker. Don't take that I say personal.
I know them now, but those are like Bay Area legends at the time
Hey,
too.
Dre,
You know?
bubbling
Dre, stop, Dre. Stop, Dre. I asked you, Dre.
in the Bay.
Yeah.
It hadn't came all the way down the you know, down the coast yet. So we go to sound check and we tripping off Too Short. You know, we like this motherfucker, he had Born the Mac out. He came, he said, what's up? He passed out Born the Mac tapes and shit. So we was like, this nigga sitting on the caddy, okay. We checked this out and shit when we get in the car. But then Hammer comes out and everybody that's with Hammer got on troop suits.
Yeah.
Remember them troop leather suits?
Hell yeah.
Everybody. And they like, Eazy saying, see, they look like a motherfucking group. Ain't no telling what Yella gonna wear tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So we need to look like a fucking group, man. And he was like, if y'all niggas got anything black, man, just everybody wear black. Just wear black, man. Don't care what it is. And so
On the Mac.
my black shit was, I was a Raider fan, so my black shit was Raider shit. So that was just a requirement. When you show up, nigga, have
Wear
on black. So niggas started wearing Raider shit too. You know what I'm saying? So then it became a thing where, you know, the coolest shit was Raider shit or khakis or Dickies, you know what I'm saying? So that became the thing. You know, it wasn't even a lot of black tennis shoes at the time, you know? It was like niggas was wearing white, wasn't a lot of black t-shirts.
Either
you know
Troops or Lottos or some other shit.
You know, so it was just about, we all just started rocking the Raiders shit. Because they won the Super Bowl here, you know what I mean? It was like, okay.
What did it feel like, the early recordings with N.W.A? With Ren.
You didn't know who was going to fall through, you know what I'm saying? It was like, we up in there, but friends.
Everything.
You know, chicks niggas was fucking with. Like, everybody falling through there, man, throughout the day. Niggas bringing food up there, niggas bringing drink up there. Niggas bringing problems up there, issues. Niggas just arguing in the lobby. You know, those niggas all outside. Torrance PD start fucking with niggas coming up there and laying niggas down. Niggas, you know, go and eat at the Mexican restaurant and shit. And bring the food back. You know, it was just a lot of activity, you know.
Did you know you were making like an historic album?
Yeah. Because we knew nobody was making records. Like, only a few people was making records like this, you know. Ice-T, King T, Tidy T, Mixmaster Spade.
You had to be like T back then.
Mixmaster Spade, CMW, you know what I'm saying? Other, you know, niggas, Ghetto Boys.
Was there a pressure to make it something like that too? And by that I mean, like, we can't fuck this up, or was it just?
Well, we didn't want to fuck up Easy Money because we knew if this didn't work, the nigga was gonna shut it down, go back to doing what was making money. So it was that pressure of we can't afford to be whack up in here.
With the album, aside from Dope Man, what's the first song or the first couple songs y'all go in to record where it felt like this is really a group?
I think we you know, we just start kind of like one at a time in it a little bit, you know what I mean? So I think, you know, like Express Yourself and I Ain't the One, you know, these were like songs that we were, you know, doing solo. And then we knew, okay, we need our group song. So that's when Straight Outta Compton came.
Hey, dude, and that goes back to the first words.
Yeah.
Straight Outta Compton.
Crazy motherfucking name, Ice Cube, from the gang called Niggas with Attitudes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that right there set up. When you say Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube, from the gang called Niggas with Attitudes.
Yeah.
That explains it all.
Yeah. 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 It was, you know, it was a lot of dope records out, you know, when we made our record. Like, look at 88.
Oh my God, bro.
So look at it. I mean, and then we had just done, you know, everybody talk about the Straight Outta Compton album, but you know, what comes before Straight Outta Compton is the Eazy-Does It album, which is a classic in itself with, you know, major hits. Like, Dre was next level on a lot of them records.
And with Eazy-Does It, the album, is that with What the Fuck Is Up, In the Place to Be?
Yeah.
Coming on the... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Motherfucking
and Eazy-Does It. Dun, 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 dun.
My name is Eazy, and this is true.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Man, my shit is... Eazy said it down. My man say... Not that he shot dude, but I shot... Damn, it's one line. Man, I have to go back to it. But that was another one. And what I loved about that, too, is the video. Just the walk in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it, man, it was just one of those, man, it was just a moment that you knew, not in the rearview mirror, oh, that was special. Like, you knew what that felt like at that time.
Yeah.
You know?
It was we was
Oh,
living
my
the
shit would say,
dream.
well, but what if she's ugly? Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
That was that shit.
Yeah.
Did you write a lot of that too?
DOC wrote a lot of that album. DOC, me and MC Ren. And Dre wrote a little bit on that too.
So we get N.W.A. straight out of Compton, man, and fast forward into the world's most dangerous crew.
Yeah.
FBI on you guys. At one point, do y'all take that as you feel like you're gonna crumble and stumble and fall? Or did y'all take that as empowerment? Like, oh shit.
Nigga, the FBI on them niggas. Back then, like any other thing, this is what? 86? 88 right now, 87, 88. 87, 88, man. Telling them, fuck the police. FBI, J. Edgar Hoover tripping.
Like, man, we got something here. And not sitting in the studio saying, man, we gonna write something, and then the FBI gonna send a letter, and then we gonna, you know what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't like that.
Oh, I know.
When we working on the Fuck the Police, you know, we listen back to it. We in the like the little lobby part, because it's the main studio, and then you open the door, it's like this little lobby part. That, you know, me, Ren, we in there eating Mexican food and shit.
LA nigga.
And Ren just look at me. He was like, man, this song gonna start some shit. That's what he said. Now it was the first time it dawned on me. And I'm like, You know what I'm saying? I didn't really comment, but it just stuck in my head that he saw it. Like that was the time he saw it. He put it on my mind. But when we got the letter, Eazy just was like, man, we gotta go up to Priority. We gotta go up to Priority Records, man. Brian wanna talk to us. And we didn't know what it was about and shit. So when we get up there, you know, they all nervous and shit. They like worried. And it's like, man, you see this shit? Put out a letter. Read this shit, man. I got this fucking letter from the FBI. Eazy reading, we all hovered and shit, reading and shit. And he's like, okay, what they gonna do? I said, I don't know what the fuck they gonna do, man. They just telling us we need to take the record off the shelf, man. We gotta think of something, blah, blah, blah. He's like, man, fuck them. You know what I mean? It was like a letter, that's all we get. We was naive, you know, youngsters, you know, we like, if it ain't the sheriff or the LAPD, you know, they'll actually come fuck you up.
Knock on the door.
They can fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody coming. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna kick our doors in and shit. Okay. And then, so now Eazy trying to calm Brian down. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, stop worrying so fucking much. He says, like, this could be a gold mine, man. It's like, man, we should make this shit public, man. Let motherfuckers know what they trying to do to us.
Wow.
And, you know, boom, boom, bam. And then that's when we like, because we had already got banned from MTV and shit. So we was like, man, you know, fuck it. We ain't about to suffer in silence and shit. Let's let everybody know what the fuck is going on with us, man. And you know, it's a freedom of speech thing right now.
And not knowing the power when you say freedom of speech and the power of what that felt like. But were y'all getting, when you say the FBI, you're like, oh, it's not the sheriff, it's not the LAPD. Did y'all start to feel those kind of pressures from like even local police departments?
A little bit, you know, but nothing crazy.
Too crazy.
You know, not until we went on tour.
Yeah.
When we went on tour, then that's when they would, before every show, they was like wanting us to meet with the police or motherfuckers, and they would just read us these city ordinances, like, you know, city of St. Louis, you can't do this. This is against the law. Lewd act, you know, spitting on the stage, profanity, you can't show your dick, you know.
Were y'all getting arrested? Because I remember at one point
a couple times we did get arrested.
Yeah,
Cincinnati, we had to fly in and meet with the mayor. Damn. We flew in, it was me, Ren, and the promoter.
What are you wearing to meet the mayor?
Raider jacket. It's a shot of me and Ren, we young, and we sitting outside, we sitting on the steps of the courthouse. And motherfucker got that picture, but we was in our, you know, shit we was gonna do the show in. And so we had to go in early and meet them. And when we get off the plane, they hem me and Ren up and shit. Tell us to put our hands on the wall and shit. Promoter named Daryl Brooks. He like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Man, put your hands down.
Oh, shit.
We on the wall like this, man. You know what I mean? Police is like, get against the wall, you know. Want to search us and shit. And it's like, man, you know, they thinking we gangbangers coming out there to sell dope. And we like, man, we got a meeting with the mayor.
Yeah, right.
We met with the mayor, and the mayor was like, because they was gonna cancel the show. So they said we could do the show as long as we didn't do profanity and this, that, and the other.
Uh-oh.
So as soon as we get on stage, we like, you know what these motherfuckers told us? That we couldn't say this, we couldn't say shit, we couldn't say motherfucker. We gonna do all that. So after the show, we saw, you know, during the show, we see them all lining up.
Yeah, you see that movement, huh?
We see them all lining up. So I'm like, okay, I'm just figuring out which way it's like, man, fuck, I'm gonna run, man. I ain't about to get jacked. So, but we didn't have a chance to make a plan. You know what I mean? We on stage performing, so we ain't, everybody, I don't know what everybody else gonna do. You know, them niggas went off the stage the regular way, down the steps. Nigga, I jumped off the stage and like ran like in the aisle, but then hit the backstage. I took off the shirt I had on. And I see the commotion, you know, they starting to gaffle the rest of the group. So I'm like, see the exit. I hit the exit and shit. So now I'm outside the arena. I ain't got my pass on. I'm sweating like a motherfucker. Right. You know what I'm saying? From just performing. And I see these fans driving by.
No.
And they like, Ice Cube? I'm like, yep. I said, the police chasing me. And they said, get in. So I jump in the car.
Ice Cube? Police chase, what's that? Get me out of here.
Oh, shit. And they drive me over the bridge to Kentucky. So we looking at shit, waiting for police to come and shit. We sitting there, and then it's like, I heard nobody coming. So I said, okay, take me back to the hotel and shit. They take me to the hotel, and Eazy and all them niggas is in there. Man, where the fuck you go? Where you been, man? We was looking all over for your ass, man. They gave us all fucking tickets. We gotta fly back and go to court and shit. And then they get your ass. I'm like, nigga, no.
Nah, I was ass over the elbow.
No, let me know when y'all on y'all way back. You know what I'm saying? I'll be going to LA.
Man, so how great and how fun was it, bro, to travel with N.W.A, man? Shows, planes, trains, automobiles, crowds, and people that bought the record and they touched the record. People that stood in line for tickets.
Amazing, man. You know, it was like, you know, just living your dream as a teenager. Standing on stage with niggas you was just in line to go see.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? Like sharing stage with LL, sharing stage with Public Enemy, Slick Rick, EPMD, Big Daddy Kane. Like who would have thunk it? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like if you'd have asked me in '87, you know, would I be on a LL tour, fucking big ass Heavy D, Salt and Pepper.
And how new were things then, bro? Like the first times on the bus, the first times out of state.
First time I got on the bus, it wasn't even our bus. We had a show with Ice-T. Ice-T was on I think it was the Dope Jam tour. But we had a spot day, but we had 2 shows in a row. So Ice-T was like, fuck that plane, man. Y'all can get on our bus and shit. And first time I got on the bus, I got sick as a motherfucker. I was like, I got motion sick and shit. I was like, man, fuck these buses, man, you know. And then we end up getting our bus and shit. And I was worried. I'm like, man, get on this motherfucker and get sick. But when it's your bus and shit, you get used to it real quick.
Hey, man, my first time on a bus, tour bus, was your tour.
Oh yeah, which one?
I was bodyguarding the Far Side.
Damn.
That was the first time, bro, I ever got on a tour bus and packed a tour bus. That's the first time I realized how big California was.
Yeah.
Because we was driving up out of California into like Portland, and we did Washington, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that was my first time, bro. And I remember, you know, like I always, and to this day, Cube, I still mimic some of the shit that I saw you do on these few dates.
Mm-hmm.
All the motherfuckers buck wild and acting crazy, doing all this shit, man. And what I noticed, because I went and did a Taco Bell run.
Yeah.
And they came and they said, hey, can you get something for Cube? I was like, yeah. So I get you something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to Taco Bell for Cube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get this shit. Then when I bring it back, they was like, oh, can you take it up to his room? And I'm like, damn right I can. Taco Bell in Cube's room. And you know what the lobby scene look like. Hey, you in the green. I get up to your room, bro, and I knock on your door. And you had separated yourself floors away from all the bullshit.
Yep.
You opened up the door, and your room was fucking quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, I don't know if you and Kim were together then, but it wasn't like, oh, even some girl in the bed, or it was like some sensei shit.
Yeah.
And to this day, I always remembered that, bro. And when I started getting on and getting into my position, put me away from it. The Listener Hotel, I don't want to be in that hotel. Like, I saw that shit, and I saw how fucking meticulous and strategic you were. Even before I worked with you on Players Club, I just saw how you also ran your day-to-day and your business, bro. And I saw that, and I was like, that motherfucker. And that was my first time on a bus, my first time seeing a tour. And I remember, you know, I'm learning, so my thing was to get the group out the venue. Like, okay, what's Q's last song? They was like, okay, when you go to Wicked. I was like, all right, when Wicked come on, we out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I learned so much. Dope. And you didn't even know that brothers was there soaking up knowledge. And that was my first time being on a fucking tour bus, was following you and doing shows with you as an opening act with the Far Side, bro.
That's dope. Yeah. You know, it's like, I always like to have a mission accomplished. You know, if we going up there for one thing, to rock the show, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not lose focus. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure we deliver on this show, give these people their money worth. Because if you don't give them their money's worth, if you come out unfocused, or you tired, or you just not giving a good show, they're not gonna come back and see you when you come back to town.
And you live by that to
this day.
Just over the weekend.
Yeah, you know, you gotta go, and the show is the most important thing on the road. And people will get that flip. You know, it's fun, you know, it's fun to, you know, go from city to city, you know, getting paid, fans everywhere, you know, and you can lose focus real quick and think that's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, so, you know, niggas could be thinking about going to these cities because of the fun they can have.
Right.
Instead, I'm going there to rock thousands of people who paid, you know, not only the money for the ticket, but they had to get the babysitter, they had to get the outfit, the hair done, pay for parking, get some food.
I'm on their calendar.
You know, this is a event.
Yeah.
And when I hit the stage, you got to be top notch, you know what I'm saying? And get these people their money's worth, because that's what you're here for.
And that's what I've seen time and time, where you put your voice at, what you do over an instrumental to this day. You sound like what you sold us. And I remember, man, it's another little jewel I got from you when we were in Japan together.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, man, I thought the show went well. And it was a little bit of tweaks on the sound. And I remember afterwards, man, I remember you had a meeting with your team about the sound, so on and so forth. And I was like, oh, Cube, you know, I said, man, and it wasn't my place to have a conversation with you guys. But I remember at one point I said, no, Cube, I said, it was cool. And I remember you were sitting down and you looked at me, and respectfully, you said, Big, I didn't come all this way to get these people that kind of show.
Yeah, that's real.
And I was like, oh shit. And nobody probably walked out of that spot said, oh man, Cube didn't deliver. But to you, you was like,
we know when we put our foot in it.
yeah.
And when the shit was, not up to par. Like, you have to calibrate. You know what I'm saying? Every pencil needs to be sharpened. You can't just roll with it. You gotta sharpen it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you write with it, at some point you gotta say, hey, I gotta sharpen this up. And the same thing with your talents, your skills, your position, your thought process, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta remember how it was before you really got on and put in that same effort. Even
Do you
though
remember
you
being in the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going to see LL and Public Enemy, standing in line, Sports Arena. Houdini was on the show, and blew my mind. I was nosebleed seats, you know what I mean? It wasn't great seats and shit. And remember it vividly, like wishing I was up there. You know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy because I'll watch a show, Cube, and not only am I focused in, but I'm also and I noticed this on your show, it's not 17 people on the side of the stage. Somebody got the better mic than you. The homies coming up giving you high fives and just being up there for absolutely nothing. Like, I've seen where your team would say everybody off the stage because that focus got to be on you.
Yeah. And you're going to see it better from out there anyway.
Yeah, man.
To be honest.
That's why I'm always in the audience, bro.
Whack.
I'm like, the sound is different. I
you get to see the visuals.
I'm in the audience, bro. And I enjoy watching shows from the audience. Cube, fast forward. Was it hard leaving N.W.A?
It was. Because, I'm loyal to Dre and Eazy,
just the history there too, right?
Yeah, I felt like if I bring this to their attention, it'll get fixed. But I think Jerry Heller was the X factor, He's the X factor. He's the one who took it over the top and made it where it was a situation where I had to leave.
So when you leave, do you step out on confidence or do you step out on fear? Or both?
I stepped out on principle. I wasn't worried about anything. I just knew I couldn't accept what was being done.
You say that today, but you felt that back then?
Yeah, I felt that back then because to me, I was going back. It wasn't like I was, going from rich to broke. I was going from, being able to pay my bills to maybe not next week. So that wasn't a new feeling for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was still living at my mama's house in that same room. I had platinum records up in my bedroom and shit. And so I wasn't losing nothing, but, not hanging out in Compton, you know what I'm saying? That's all I was really losing out on.
Were you afraid of losing an identity and a fan base? Nothing.
Nah, I was, I just knew if it's gonna be like this, I ain't fucking with it.
Right.
So I'll figure something else out. But
it's not gonna be this.
It ain't gonna be. I ain't about to do this.
Right.
I ain't about to work and not get my worth and spend all these fucking hours in the studio and shit and hanging, doing this stuff and not getting paid at the end when I was supposed to. So I felt like it was a bullshit deal anyway, no matter how famous the group got. It wasn't working. So what was cool when I decided to lead a group, when I was like, I'm done. I went to meet with Brian, Priority. told him what was going on, and he was fucking blown away. You know, he was like, damn. He's like, ain't shit we could do. It's like, nah. He's like, what you gonna do? I said, shit, I want to do a solo record. He was like, it's gonna be on priority. It's gonna be on priority. I was like, yeah, all right, no problem, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so now N.W.A. is
budget.
label mates.
We label mates. Yeah, we label mates and shit. So, you know, the interview is how he navigated that shit without it being a big problem. But yeah, you know, he was like, yo, we'll do your solo record. So I knew, okay, damn, I got a budget and a label. So,
but how do you go from being in such a iconic group at that moment, not rock and roll, Hall of Fame, like at that moment, N.W.A. is iconic. How do you go from that and say, I'm going to get the Bomb Squad. I'm going to New York. I'm going to try this other sound that I'm feeling too, which was still Cube.
Yeah. Well, the Bomb Squad, they was my favorite producers at the time. You know, you with Dre, but I'm with him every day. So the true appreciation, you know, wasn't there. You know, as
Gotcha.
you know, I was, you know, I was with Dre when there were better producers out there than him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Gotcha.
So he developed into becoming a beast on the production. But my favorite producers and the favorite music was still coming out of the East Coast at the time. And so, you know, niggas was Dope Marley Marl and, you know, forgot the boy that produced Salt and Pepper.
Herbie,
yeah, Herbie Love Bug and, you know, Russell and
Rick
Rubin. You know, they was still, you know, top producers and shit. Like, and my favorite was the Bomb Squad because my favorite group was Public Enemy.
Man, were you in New York with Keith and Hank and out there putting that album together?
Yeah.
But what's crazy about that, bro, is that being from LA, when I first heard you drop, I was like, it didn't sound like, man, what the fuck is Cube doing?
Nah.
Because
we took a lot of flavor with us.
Yeah.
We wasn't just gonna depend on the Bomb Squad because we never knew they were gonna do the whole record. So we were prepared. You know, Jinx had come into his own as a producer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he learned a lot from being around the process of us making these N.W.A. records, making DOC record, making Eazy's record. So we had demos, you know, we had beats and we was looping shit and we kind of had like, yo, if we had to produce this record, you know, we could. We're not ready.
Right. But if we have to,
we can. We know enough to put this motherfucker together and make it sound dope. So you take that and you add the Bomb Squad. So now you have their mastery of sampling and rhythm and people look at the Bomb Squad like they only did Public Enemy, but the Bomb Squad produced, from my understanding, Poison, BBD. They did Slick Rick Children's Story. You know what I'm saying? They did a lot of Vanessa Williams, The Right Stuff album.
Had they did anything on the West Coast?
No, so what we did was we went in there with all our ideas.
The president of the land, what's up, my nigga, man?
And we matched them to the right music. You know, we matched them to the right music. So it was all about us knowing what we were supposed to do. And, you know, each person would take the lead, you know, like it was you know, it was the best time the best feeling and the best vibe.
Let me tell you,
on
man.
making a record.
And you know, bro, I had you do this at my birthday party, the N.W.A.
Yeah.
It was so, like, that's an album, Cube, that no fillers. No jumping apart, no fast forwarding, no back then skipping the needle, like everything on that album. I remember, bro, you did a show, the first show you did as a solo artist that I saw, you were at the Palace.
Yeah.
I stood in line. We moved and finagled to get to the front. You came out in that motherfucking in that electric chair.
Yeah. That was my first solo show ever.
Cube, when you came out that chair, motherfucking jumping on the fucking side field of speaker, I was like...
Yeah, it was crazy.
When we left, I was like, oh, shit. I knew I was seeing something that night. That you see, I remember, and you remember. Yeah. I was like, it's like, and not all N.W.A. is over.
Who's the Mac with the big white with
the white, oh my God, bro. I remember doing, and then when you sat back in the chair at the end of the show, and I was like.
Yeah. It's a picture going around of that night when I got the leather coat on.
Mink coat.
Mink coat, yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucker that night, Cube, that was one of those things where I came as a fan. So if anybody came as a fan, you got them.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody came like this, what are you gonna do? You got them.
Yeah, we love to see that.
And that night, bro, it was electrifying.
Yeah, we love to see that. You know, a crowd that, you know, sometimes a crowd is tired. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the group before you didn't rock, so they kind of dull them out, and to bring them back from that, you know, with their arms folded to, you know, having them
and Q, you were all over the stage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All over the stage, man. And I was like, oh my God, this dude is fucking amazing, man. And we didn't have social media. We didn't have, you know, phone recordings. Like, you were there for a special night.
Yeah.
And if you saw it, you saw it.
Yep.
And I was there that fucking night, bro.
That's dope.
And from that night, without social media, I'm wondering, what did others feel? You know, like, is N.W.A. at the time wishing you well, or are they wishing you fail? You know what I'm saying?
Wishing I fail?
Yeah.
Shit,
and you see that, and leading into, you could be over here doing your thing, man, and somebody else, N.W.A. could be doing their thing. Then 100 Miles and Running come, or you know, we start hearing pops and disses, you know, one couldn't make it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When do you, and we've seen this kind of on Straight Outta Compton, we've had conversations about it. When was the first time you knew, like, man, these dudes are dissing me?
I mean, 100 Miles and Running had come out, which I didn't like the record. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this ain't as dope as they could be. You know what I'm saying? Right. I thought it was. I just didn't think it had that wow factor. But they dissed me in it. So when I did Jacket for Beats, I was like, I ain't gonna do a whole diss, because they ain't do a whole diss, but I am gonna diss these niggas on the end of this song. And saying, if I jack you and you keep coming, I have you march 100 miles and run it. I use the end and stop. Surprise, niggas, boom, right? So I'm like, okay, they throw a jab, I throw a jab. We should end this.
Yeah.
We should end this. And Mark Cerami, this is after I tear Priority with a bat. And Mark Cerami is trying to mend the relationship, because I won't go back up to Priority no more. And he's like, dude, you won't come up here, you know what I mean? I miss you, I ain't seen you in a minute. Man, will you go fishing with me? So I'm like, you know, I ain't got no hard feelings. You know, Mark Cerami is the reason I didn't go to jail that night. Mm-hmm. And me, JD, Shorty, T-Bone, the reason we didn't go to jail because of marks around me. So so I felt I owed it to him, to, be cool and go on the boat. And then when we got out there and shit, he was like, man, I want to play you something.
Oh my God, he had you out there on the water.
Yeah, he's like, I want to play you something, man, So I'm just caught in the middle of this shit, we trying to make everybody happy, and he said, these guys, they really, they really said some things about you I think you need to hear, and you need to hear from me, you know what I mean? Because I don't want you to be mad at Priority and come up there with a fucking bat.
Again.
Yeah, so he played it, man, and I'm like, what? These motherfuckers talking reckless, they talking about, broomsticks and shit and using my real name and shit. So, okay. I was mad as a motherfucker, man. I was like, I was like,
Vaseline.
fuck in my head, I'm like, fuck this fishing shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, stay out there for another 20 minutes. I said, man, I'm getting sick, man. You gotta take me back and shit. I'm getting seasick. I couldn't wait till this fucking boat gets back to dock.
Yeah, you weren't seasick. You was MC sick.
Yeah, I was like,
MC sick.
Get to my fucking notebook. So, drove home mad as a motherfucker, man. And I think I walked past everybody in the house. Everybody like, hey. I'm like, I come on, slam my door, boom. Put on the motherfucking beat. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna kill these niggas. And I wrote that. I didn't come out the room till I finished. It was like 90 minutes later. And I came up.
So did you have the instrumental flipped already for No Vaseline?
No, I wrote it to another beat.
And the same No Vaseline that we know today?
Yeah, I wrote it to another beat.
And that's another one, Q.
What I did was, I was like, I want this motherfucker to be a hit. I don't want it just to be a diss record. I want it to be a hit diss record that's a hit. And then I always loved Cinderfella, you know what I'm saying? Cinderfella by Dana Dane. And nobody had flipped that sample since he had did it. And he did the shit like in the 80s. So, like, it's about time to flip this bitch. So I had DJ Pooh and Jinx. They flipped it.
And Jinx is Dre's cousin.
Yeah. He didn't know the rap I was gonna do though. He flipped the beat. I wouldn't tell nobody to rap till it was laid and it was sounding good. And then I went in there and laid the rap.
How long after did you lay the rap? From the boat till laying the rap? Because you still sound angry.
It was some time. I was working on my record. I was in the middle of working on Death Certificate already. And this was just something I was like, I don't want to fuck up the vibe of the record. So I'm gonna put this shit at the end. And then I was just trying to figure out what beat I wanted to rap it over. And then I was like, man, I want to use that Daz.
Yeah, man.
That brick.
Yes, sir.
And so when they flipped it for me, they wasn't ready for it.
No.
Because we had done a few different songs and shit that day, so it was kind of like,
is that
end of the night.
Up? Now you're getting done without Vassar. The LL Cool J shit?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's Pooh and Bobcat and them niggas cutting that up. Jinx did the intro, all that.
Yeah.
When
it was Alone, there was no fucking good time.
All that.
Ain't shit without N.W.A. All that. Hey, dude, that's like a minute
of dissing.
Yeah,
like
dissing.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
And he was, Jinx is the king of skits. Nobody's better.
Hey, man, and then when you say, fuck all y'all, and the words again, goddamn, I'm glad y'all said it all. Like when you talk about those words.
Y'all said it all.
To jump off now.
I was going to West LA City College. Me and my homeboy Ray. It was before class. Sitting up at the top of the mountain at West LA City College, right? So everything on an open field and mountains, everything just, the sound goes up.
I was like 91.
We sitting there, I'm sitting on the wall, Ray's laying on like this flat wall, right?
Start
Low
cracking on
wall.
niggas, nigga.
And I don't hear all
Set it
that,
off.
you know, fuck all that. I don't hear that.
That nigga
But
got
we
cracking.
hearing something, or whoever it is, probably in the Nissan truck, open bed, all this shit, right? And this is on my mama cue. We sitting there and we hear, God damn, I'm glad y'all set it off. Used to be hard, now you just waiting. So we popped up and we was like, bro, that's Cube. That's Cube. And we just hearing this motherfucker from somebody else's sound.
Yeah.
On my mama, bro, we left. We
Y'all
left
left.
school.
That nigga went
that
crazy,
day.
cuz.
And
That's
went,
when the
it was-
hardest, listen, it's up, no Vaseline, cuz. No Vaseline, bro. Nigga, don't make dollars, don't make sense. No Vaseline. Nigga, ether. Nigga, and now, nigga, they ain't like us, cuz. They didn't do the top, cuz. They're disses. Nigga, that niggas kind of, what?
on a hunt
What?
for that shit. And I'm telling you, man, there's always this debate. And I'm going to let people have whatever they have.
Oh, shit.
No Vaseline is the best fucking diss record, period.
Yeah, without a doubt. You
No
know
what?
I
And
agree.
those that say it's not don't know.
They ain't understanding. And it's a trip because my wife Kim was going to West LA at the same time.
Did she hear it and leave too?
No, okay. But she did drive by Tower Record.
Yeah.
And she was like, she said, baby, it's a line. You ain't gonna believe this line outside Tower Records to get you.
Did she say it was some fat motherfucker in the
No,
line?
no, she didn't say that.
Okay.
But she did say, you know, because she lived, right past that Tower Records and shit at the time. She's like, man, they out there for your record.
Oh my God, bro. I don't know whose sound system that was, but we bounced. And when I say, man, diss records, and that's just mine. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those one man, 4 verses that you like. I remember waiting on, damn, who's getting it next? Like, who's coming next? Yeah. And to this day, I could still, and I'm good with everybody.
I had a part 2.
I remember you said that. Part 2 was in the vault.
Yeah, it's in my notebook.
Is it?
One of my old notebooks.
And it's written? And that was one of those, if they come back.
I just knew they was coming back. Like, they ain't gonna let this shit ride.
Nah.
I didn't know the turmoil that they were going through at the time. It was like at the same time as Dre.
Dre feeling something.
Yeah, breaking away from...
How did it feel, though, when, and it was time, you know, y'all men taking, you know, jab, and then like, okay, damn, they just did a little punch. Now, bro, it's knockout blow time.
Yeah.
You know, but like you give, and now everything is solid, but you gave so much and did so much with Dre and the history of you and Eazy-E and N.W.A.
Yeah.
How did it feel like, man, damn, I gotta go at them? Or you just like, fuck it?
I was
like,
mad as when, you know, it was like, they started it. If you listen to America's Most Wanted, I'm not dissing N.W.A.
Right.
Like, I don't even mention N.W.A. on the whole record. So it's like, you know, it's like if your homeboy came up and bombed on you.
Right, yeah. You
know,
can't be like, oh, so much history.
You my home, you my homeboy, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna let that slide. You know, you're gonna have to, you know,
like when in elementary school,
put out a demonstration.
When you had PE, it was like you pick first and I get second and 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You pick first, I get second and 2. That's that same shit. All right, you go.
Make it count, boy.
Be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Come. So I felt like they started it, so it wasn't nothing for me to be thinking twice about, you know.
Did you? And you told me, and we know that there is a. Have you ever rapped part 2 to somebody?
No.
Do the Queen has the Queen ever heard?
I don't know. I don't remember rapping it.
Oh, okay.
I might have rapped.
I can't imagine.
I might have rapped it to Jinx or somebody, or you know, whoever I was with, T-Bone.
I can't imagine if that's what No Vaseline sound like. What number 2?
Yeah.
Was going to sound like.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was cocked.
Oh, yeah.
Cocked and loaded.
Q, where were you when you heard about Eazy-E? Like Eazy having AIDS, and were you guys good around that time, or?
Yeah, it was
okay.
good.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I was driving, and
Big Savage for life. Appreciate it.
you know, I heard some bullshit, and you know, I didn't believe it. And then I was driving, and KD called me because his mother worked at Cedar-Sinai. And said, yeah, he up on one of these floors up here. And I was like, damn, this shit is real.
Yeah. And did it feel sudden to you as well? Like he was already up on a certain floor?
You know, it's like, you know, my heart dropped like, damn, like, you know, I know Magic Johnson, but I know him from afar. You know, he wasn't like somebody I kick it with every day. So
right.
to hit somebody that big, that close, I just was I was shocked, you know what I'm saying? I was stunned. And then, you know, I was just trying to figure out how to connect, you know, make a connection and try to get up there and see him.
Were you able to get up there and see him?
Yeah, I was able to get up there, but I couldn't see him. When I got there, Trey was coming out of the room, and I was like, "What's up, Trey?" He's like, "Man, he's out." You know, he said, "I was sitting there. He ain't up. He sleep." So I said, "Okay." So I gave his people my connections and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get a hotel right up the street, and I'm gonna be in there. Me and Kim, we're gonna be in there kicking it. And when you wake up, call me so I can come up here and you know, talk to him, or at least let him see me." And no call. About 2 a.m, they called and was like, he passed away. So I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Do you replay at that time just everything, like tour buses, stage, studios, and
yeah. You know, smart dude. You know, I learned a lot from him, and funny too. You know, he had a dark sense of humor, but he was funny, and you know, he was a good dog. I used to like hanging around him. You know, he would come scoop me up. I remember he came and got me, and he went to go see this girl in the jungle.
No, Lord.
Left me in the fucking car for like 2 hours of shit. And I'm like, man, this Compton nigga do not know where we parked at right now. You know what I'm saying? He get my head blown off over here. And so just, you know, remember those little crazy times.
And fast forward from that, man, you've always made sure that you delivered albums. Then you jump in, you know, of course, the movies. And it's crazy because everybody talk about a Friday. You know, you hear that all the time. Friday, you're going to do Friday again. You never hear anyone that say Players Club?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay, cool, because I was in Players Club, man. I'm just... I've been really pushing for a Players Club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I remember another time too, Q. I remember when I saw you doing Players Club. For one, I had to go down and audition. And it wasn't like, oh, Big, you got the part. I went down, I auditioned. Then you told me, man, it was you anyway, but I wanted to see what was going down. That was my first time like really on a set.
Yeah.
I met Master P.
Yeah.
But one thing I peeped out too, Cube, was when you worked on that set, you were focused.
Yeah.
It wasn't the homies hanging out like, man, hold on, man, I gotta shoot this shit real quick. You know, it was like locked and loaded. And I remember looking at that and I was like, this motherfucker could have a gang of people here and have a gang of noise, but you were so fucking professional as a director, as an actor, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that also comes from the school of John Singleton.
Yeah.
seeing that and respecting that field. And when we think about Cube, man, think about some of the people that got introduced to us that came from your imprint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Chris Tucker,
Mike
Cat
Epps.
Williams, Mike Epps. You know, like when I saw Cat, I didn't know his name was Cat Williams.
Yeah.
You know,
Money Mike.
yeah,
Money
man.
Mike.
You know, so we'll see these things, man. The relationship with Pops, you know what I'm saying, with John. It's like those things, man. You know, fucking Bye Felicia would never leave now.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of shit, man. Like you've been such a staple to what we call not just hip hop, man, but can you imagine every fucking album, every single, every concert, every movie, every TV show. If we deleted Ice Cube, what would we be robbed of?
Oh man, a whole lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just me, but you know the people that you know I kind of let them get down and do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people will let you get down, but they won't let you get down and do your thing.
Right.
They'll let you get down and do their thing.
Yeah.
And you don't really get a full swing at it. You know, a full, you know, extension on it. You know what I'm saying? So I always felt like I'm picking these people for a reason.
Yeah. Like I never
They make me laugh. They talented. I could see it. And if I just set them up where they can just go and do their thing, then they could, you know, produce magic.
Dude, I never heard like a Lisa Ray. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Until I was on a set for Players Club.
Yeah. Right.
Like there's just some things, bro, that I was just like, man, this shit is
I like
genius.
working with people that people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Unknown talents. I think it makes it more realistic when you're watching a movie, you know, with Straight Outta Compton. Right. It was like, I don't want nobody you've really seen before too much in this movie. You know, I want all new faces.
So you don't be that, that's dude from...
Yeah. You want it to take you out the movie. Like they was trying, when we first did Friday, you know, me and Pooh wrote it. Mm-hmm. So Pooh was supposed to play Smokey. And,
oh, shit.
Yeah, Pooh was supposed to play Smokey. But once New Line came into the picture, they said he didn't have any movie credits and it was too many pages of dialogue for him. So they was like, you gotta find somebody with a little more experience on screen. So, you know, they was talking about like, you should audition Tommy Davidson and you should audition a few like known big time comedians at the time. And I was like, no. This is a movie about the neighborhood. I want when you see it, you feel like you in the neighborhood, not that you...
Like you really on the porch.
Yeah, not that you watching an actor get down, you know? So I said the reason why Pooh worked as Smokey is because he's never been on screen before, so people gonna trip out on the shit he doing. And so we ended up, I said, okay, if y'all can't, you know, Pooh can't do a role that big, what about this dude I saw on Def Comedy Jam named Chris Tucker? Mm-hmm. And they was like, who? Nah, man. You know, everybody was, I said, man,
just like he got less credits than Pooh. Right?
But I said he was just on House Party 3, one of y'all movies. And y'all didn't use him. Y'all barely used him half a scene and shit. I said, this dude right here is funny, man. And I said, just fly him in. I'll pay for it if I had to. And let's do a screen test, me and him. And if shit ain't funny, if it ain't working, then we'll try out Tommy Davidson. You know, so, but which I didn't, you know, I was only reason because he was so known on In Living Color. Right. I felt like you wouldn't really buy in that this was my homeboy in the neighborhood.
The whole feel of that
movie.
Too, though.
Yeah, so I like working with people you never seen before, or people that you seen a little bit of, but they didn't really, you know, they didn't have enough time to shine.
Right.
Same with Bernie Mac. You know, I saw him on Def Comedy Jam again. And I was like, you know, that dude, he could definitely play the preacher in Friday. But I knew I wanted to, I said, you know, that's only a small role. You know, Bernie needs some meat.
Yeah,
and he
man.
can go. And I'm still proud of the performance I got out of him in Players Club, because I don't think nobody got him to go there
man.
since
Well,
then.
my man said, who you think y'all? DJ Quick?
Yeah.
Kid Capri?
Yeah.
And man, that dude is another amazing talent, bro.
Amazing.
That you tapped into. Q, when we saw the like the East Coast West Coast beef, you know, there was a broad stroke of what the East Coast West Coast beef was, and that was, you know, forefront Biggie, Tupac. You know, and with West Side Connection, it wasn't a beef. I felt that it was more of a call to, when I first heard like Bow Down and records like that. Why did you feel like, not that y'all had to defend the West Coast, but what made y'all go in and...
What is that Chuck word? Still smoking the beaties, the shadiest ones from the cliff who want to see me as I got my low song, let my cocky sang, bringing the West Side, cut again, BB bang, run away, and get your punk ass laid. By this H-double-E to the STA. Fuck you. Nigga, I ain't gonna be caught. Talk the walk, talk the talk. That's my shit.
You know what, man?
We're
hearing pop shots. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Things are
West
going on.
Side.
It was definitely to defend the West Coast, you know. And the Biggie, Tupac, you know, that was the apex of the beef, because they were hot. You know, they was both two of the hottest acts. But the beef started way before that. The beef, I think it started with people like Tim Dog with Fuck Compton.
Yep.
You know, they was just taking their shots, and the more successful we would get, the more shots would come. The more attention the West Coast was taken away from the East Coast, the more shots. And it was industry shots. You know, it was not just the rappers.
Right.
It was the program directors.
Yeah.
It was
publications.
It was the publications. It was the industry was really starting to hate on the music that was coming out the West Coast. So I felt like if we didn't stand up for ourselves, our contribution would be looked at as like a blip on the radar. You know, that was just, you know, that's just, you know, that gangster music, but it really is really not part of real hip hop. The word real hip hop was starting to be thrown around.
Because I even heard West Coast shit.
Yeah, you know, so, you know, I'm like, man, you know, I'm gonna start pushing this West Side line. And
on West Side.
You know, I did, you know how we do it. I started saying West Side on there, West Side. And then I remember seeing Dre at the time, and I was like, man, we gotta stand up for ourselves and shit, because these niggas trying to wipe off our contribution and shit. And I said, I'm gonna just start hitting niggas up with the dub, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna just start hitting niggas up with this W, man. And that's just gonna be it. And we gonna put our flag in the ground. And so, and so that's kind of the mindset of we gonna be proud, you know, because before, you know, niggas really wouldn't say nothing because they felt like, you know, that's the Mecca. You know, you can't, can't diss, you know, can't say nothing. You know, you just gotta, you know what I mean, pretend like you didn't hear that shit or something, you know. But I mean, Eazy did confront Tim Dog, but he kind of was like, man, you know, I was just trying to do something to get on. He came with that kind of posturing, and it diffused it because Eazy was real, you know, understanding, because he knew street shit, record shit.
Right.
We trying to get out the streets and become artists. So his last resort was always to go back to street shit. He would try to work it out in different ways because he's like, we trying to climb up out that shit. You know what I'm saying? We can always revert back to this. Like, this is our last.
Right.
This is our last option, not our first option.
This is the 52nd card and the 52 card.
Yeah, you know. So this is our last option. We can always go to DEF CON, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta try to navigate this business. So, you know, it diffused it, but then we start hearing, you know, more disses here and there. So I just felt like it was a song called Slaughterhouse by Master Ace. And it was kind of a dig, you know what I mean, on gangster music. You know, the hook was murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. You know, Master Ace is dope. So I was like, damn, you know, we gotta put a stop to this shit. And so, you know, we was like, we did a song called West Side Slaughterhouse. And then that was the beginning of the West Side Connection.
Man, with the West, I remember, dude, the West Side Connection. I remember I grew up, of course, with Dub. You know, with Low Profile, Dub, and Aladdin, and Dub, Coolio, like
Crazy Tunes, rest in peace.
Man, that was a movement, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was a movement, and those are early days when Dub would just go. You know, so when I started to see the West Side Connection, like I remember, I got to the station one day, and there was, you know how they used to send you records.
Yeah.
And I'm going through the records in the DJ booth. And I grabbed this one record and I'm like, oh shit. I put the motherfucker on. I hear the record and I was like, man, I gotta play this on Rap Attack tonight. And that was Mac 10's For Life.
Yeah.
When I heard that motherfucker, you know, and then saw what y'all started to build, you and Mac and you and Dub, you know, and of course people always want yesterday. You know, we grown men living today. But when I heard that and what y'all did for the West Coast, and it wasn't about us against them. It was, man, this is for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is for us. And I remember one time, man, we did this sit down. I think it was with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. And it was, you know, people from the West Coast. And it wasn't no crazy tension. But it was just like, man, yeah, we see what's going on. We see what's happening. And you guys standing up, and not like, oh, y'all stood up for it, but yeah, just standing up and like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And lyrically do that shit.
Yeah, you're not gonna dismiss our work.
Right.
Discredit what we've done. You know, we've changed the trajectory of hip hop, you know, in a lot of ways. So anybody that do that gotta get their props, you know.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's been done, like Rakim changed the trajectory. Everybody was yelling and, you know, thinking they gotta be the loudest, and then he came with the smooth flow and it changed the trajectory. So, you know, we did that too with N.W.A.
How did you and Dub C meet? Or how did that?
We grew up in the same neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know, he lived a couple of blocks from me, you know what I'm saying? So.
And where were you at? When y'all were living near each other? Like where at in L.A.?
Right there on Van Wyck, Van Ness Imperial area.
Yeah, see, because I know Dub, he also went to Washington. I was kind of off like 88th and Budlong, 90th and Vermont. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, Dub was one of those, man. Was Dub, as far as what we heard on radio, was Dub ahead of you when it came to records on radio?
I don't think so.
No.
I think Dub's first record came out
Pay Your
in
Dues?
89. Pay Your Dues, 89.
It was 89? Oh, okay, gotcha. And when I see the chemistry now, bro.
Yeah, man, Dub is like.
Y'all could do y'all shit with your eyes closed.
Yeah. You know, he's my best friend in the game.
That's dope.
You know, and we've been knowing each other, you know, had rap battles against each other.
Yeah, man.
Played football against each other, and, you know, and we done traveled the world together. And, you know, whenever I'm on stage and he ain't there, I just feel naked.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a show where Dub wasn't there.
Yeah, you know, he got his own show.
Well, you know I know all the
sometimes.
lyrics, too.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Let me know. And I know the live show.
Come on with it.
Cube, so I get up there. I think I compliment you very well, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I got 2
Dub in
totally
trouble.
replaced kneecaps, so I'm not gonna be skipping around the stage and all that
Oh,
shit.
shit. You know, that's a requirement now.
Okay,
you know
well, that's not gonna happen for me.
need
Then.
some skipping, man.
You
if you're
know?
gonna take Dub place.
Big 3, bro. Congratulations to you on Big 3.
Thank you.
And not only that, man, as we sitting here, in the N.W.A. is starting to really, you know, things that we were talking about with the holdbacks and, you know, the hate. I don't know exactly where it's at on the legal side.
Yeah.
But just recognizing that you've built another great brand.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we'll see it flourish even more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
we I don't do it for me. You know, I do it for the fans who love, you know, if you love hoops, and the summer gets boring as hell. So to have a league to you know, take our attention from the end of the finals to the beginning of the NFL, you know, I just, you know, I do it for the fans.
And it looks beautiful. And it looks real. And it looks authentic. You know what I'm saying?
You know, we take the basketball very serious.
Yeah, you can see it.
But we have fun with everything else, you know.
What's around the corner for Cube? That sounds so cliche and generic, but you just...
I'm finishing up my album. You know, I'm dropping an album called Man Down. And, you know, hopefully it'll be out first or second quarter.
Cube, I'm telling you, bro, you one of my favorite lyricists, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying?
You always say it, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, you never... you always let me know, man. You know how you feel, which is great.
And I watched that shit from the audience, man. And I thank you for sitting down with us as well, bro.
Anytime.
And we've had you on many a times on air, man, but just having a chance to sit down with you off air, bro, and get this real story, man, and you taking your time with me, bro. I appreciate you.
Anytime.
Cube.
All right. Good to see you.
You can take that with you. All right, man.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Yeah, we out of here.